I'm holding the neck. Gently at first, then I apply a little more pressure. She recoils slightly, smiling awkwardly. I decide to give it another go. So, I change hands from a different angle, smile, and then pull her in again. This time, a very obvious no, coupled with a vehement jerk backwards, followed by a cry of pain. Whoopsie-daisy. I try to apologise, but realise I don't remember her name, so it sounds rather hollow. I offer to take her to the local hospital on my bike. She accepts. Ah, it's closed, which seems to bother her a lot. It is a Sunday, I explain. She calls me a fucking moron and we hop back on the wheels to try and find another one. I was having a lovely evening. It was all quite exciting. She was sitting behind me, holding my waist, grabbing my belly. It felt nice. She groans a lot, particularly on the sharp corners, which I always attack MotoGP style. Knee down, nose close enough to sniff the tarmac, although I always wobble a little on the exit from a chicane. I'd seen a picture of her beforehand online. Lovely. She was better in real life. Her hair was vibrant, bouncy, shiny and clean. I like it very much, I tell her. She curses having ever met me. She said she suspected I was weird after our initial chats. Apparently, I came over as a cross between a sex pest and a simpleton. This must have been intriguing, I ask. Not really. Well, this all begs the question as to why she agreed to meet up with me. A fuck. Huh, was her immediate response. Well then. She pulls herself in a little tighter. Then, she works her hand down the front of my jacket and all the way down to my trousers. She does this 3 times, which is quite clumsy because now I have the beginnings of an erection, and I'm positive that she can feel it too because she's now running her hand along the length of it. Well, I get distracted and we drive through a large pothole, causing us to bounce into the air. She falls backwards, then quickly forward, smashing into my back. This time, her cry is loud enough for everybody passing by to hear as well. So they all see her swap the rubbing for a fist punch, although the target remains the same. Breath leaves me as I clutch my privates in agony. It is the single most painful experience of my life. I tried to scream out, but I can't, so I just mouth helplessly like a fish in water. I've lost where I am for a moment, physically and metaphysically. I'm slumped over the handlebars. The front wheel of the bike is wobbling all over the place. She's screaming into my back with a mixture of triumph, agony, and fear. I lift my head bravely. The water in my eyes is causing the fluorescent lights to stream and mix, terrifyingly blinding my path. We drive straight into a dumpster and I pass out. Later, in the hospital, I see my lady as she's led to a chair by an extremely beautiful nurse. I wave to both of them. The nurse turns to the girl, who tries to nod but can't. She then looks at me with disappointment. Damn, I still don't recall her name. I don't recall much after the bump. She's looking at me with contempt. I judge her with guilt and pity. Her nose is broken, and her eyes are black. The neck problem looks pretty severe too, judging by the angle of her head. Apparently, it was a slow-speed crash, less than 10 miles an hour, the eyewitnesses reckon. It was also the shortest, yet most intimate encounter with a girl I'd ever had. I'd better take stock for a couple of days. A lot has happened. I'll have to update my status back to available. 2 words rung in my ears. Sex pest, simpleton. And then a third. Alliteration.